Good morning, my name is Eric Normand, and this is my vlog, all about my company, PF.tv, where I teach closure. So today is Friday, and I have Friday blocked off on my calendar as meeting-free day, so I try not to book meetings on Friday, and typically that is the day that I try to work on my business instead of in my business. And so I'm taking a walk to my new favorite coffee shop, Coffee Science, and I'm going to sit down and think deeply about my business and what it is and what I want out of it. I mentioned before that I spent about 4 hours yesterday clearing off photos from my phone and my computer and setting up some kind of primitive backup strategy. It's not totally done, but I've got them off my computer onto an external hard drive, and they're out of iCloud as well, so I'm not using iCloud for photos anymore. They would just fill up with too many photos and videos, especially when I would record a video like this. It would be like a gig by itself. So I have something of a system right now. I do need to figure out how to back up my photos somewhere, but they are getting backed up to the cloud, so that's all right. Using Backblaze. Feel kind of tired, maybe a little sick this morning. That's no good. My daughter and wife are both sick, so I think that might have something to do with it. Trying to stave it off, be outside, get some exercise. Just hope it goes away, I guess, is all I can do. The office is coming along. I got a little bit more done yesterday. Cleared out the bookshelf, the chest of drawers, moved stuff to where it belongs, threw out a whole bunch of trash that had accumulated. I got the package in the mail with the foam pop filter that fits on to the microphone. I like it better than the pop filter that is like a circle that sits in front of it. I just like the look of it better, and it's not in my way, and I can talk closer to the microphone instead of being so far with the pop filter. And the what's it called? The shock mount keeps it from feeling the vibrations in the desk or hearing the vibrations in the desk. So it seems to be working out okay, and both of those things were pretty cheap. You know, I think I've mentioned this before, but last time I bought audio equipment like that was maybe 5 years ago, and it was all expensive back then. You could only get like name brand stuff, but now it seems that with the popularity of podcasting, I guess, all this audio equipment is now pretty cheap because, you know, it's just some elastic bands and something to hold the microphone steady. So let's hope it works. It seems to be working. It seems pretty good. All right. So I'm going to the coffee shop. I'm going to lay out a whole bunch of note cards and some notebooks and just brainstorm, get the ideas out of my head. I started listening yesterday, re-listening to the E-Myth Revisited, which is a really good book, and I've read it maybe 4 times already. And the problem I have with it is, like, every time I finish it, I just don't feel like I've got any like practical advice, even though throughout the whole thing I'm like, yeah. And I realized what it is that there is a lot of practical advice, but you have to actually stop once you got to the part that's for you at that moment. Because if you keep like once you feel that yeah, it's like there's something there that you need to address, that it's getting at right then. And you just stop the book, put it down, grab a pen and paper, and start doing it. Because because it's told in such a good story format, by the time you finish, like let's say there's 5 more chapters after the part where you start to really feel it, if you finish the book, you're going to have the whole arc. You're going to have the whole climax, and you're going to feel like it's complete. And you're going to lose that feeling of like, that's what I need to do right now. And, every time I've read it before, I've been like, okay, now I'm getting more. I just want to keep listening. But then you get that sense of completion, and you lose it. So I've stopped it. I'm not going to listen to it anymore. And I'm going to the coffee shop, and I'm going to start writing it out. And my main idea is that I have all this stuff that I do that I need to systematize, while at the same time defining what it is what is the differentiation of the business, right? What is it that I'm actually doing and providing, and what value am I giving? And with the idea that I'm using closure as the model for the first one, the prototype, is what he calls it in the book. Because I do want to expand to other languages. So I need to really define the whole process, everything that we do, and use that as a template for then expanding into other languages. And here's the thing is I really do think that once I standardize the process of creating content, that I'm going to have to start finding people to create it. So I'm not the only one. I'm not the only bottleneck on the thing. Even though I really enjoy creating the content, I think I'm going to have to be one of many if I want to have the goal, if I want to satisfy the goals that I've got. Especially when I start expanding to other languages. But I need to get that process down a lot more. So I've got my, I've already told my assistant, oh, by the way, he did come back with a more fleshed out process for doing the podcast. I talked about that yesterday, and it's looking much better. I gave him some more, tips and advice instructions for making it better. And really, there's 2 parts. There's turning it into a plan for the launch, and then a sort of a standard process for what we do for every single episode. So one of them is going to be implemented once, and one of them is going to happen every time. And so we should just separate those out and think about them as 2 different parts of the same big whole, which is the podcast. Right. So I've already talked to him about him being in charge of the next sale. And I think that would be a good place to start, because teaching him how to do the sale will be a way of documenting the process of doing the sales, and then he'll be able to run them without me, or anybody could run them without me, and that would be awesome, because that's just one more step getting me out of the business, so that I can be freed up to make more content, which is not only what I like doing, but where I think that where I shine. But I think I can teach people how to shine the same way. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. That's another thing that I'm going to try to define right now. Well, I'm here at the coffee shop. Yeah, here I am. I'll see you later. Subscribe, like, comment. Thank you so much. Bye.